Welcome to the Family Beat with Erica McClaugherty.
Mom, can you hold this?
Of course, where we navigate the real-life, beautiful chaos of parenting.
Yeah, that stain's not coming out.
Explore family adventures.
How long was ages?
And try not to break the bank while making memories.
These are broken.
Oh, cool. Well, there's a lot going on tonight, so buckle up.
We got this.
Aww. That's not even my kid.
I'm getting the kids off their screens and out into nature with some help from Generation Wild and Colorado Parks and Wildlife. And then a spot I highly recommend taking the fam out for, playing pickleball and eating pickle-themed food. Next, we head to Keenesburg, Colorado to see how the Wild Animal Sanctuary is giving tigers and more a safe place to heal. Plus, we're stopping in at our favorite place to get boba and be inspired by a single mom's dream turned into reality. Then come along on our family road trip where we make a Colorado roadside stop that is crazy unexpected. Exit here for alligators? Plus, we make some very wiggly new friends at Denver Urban Gardens as kids are learning how to make their own worm compost bins. It's all coming up right now on the Family Beat.
From the 5 Points Media Center in the heart of Denver, Colorado, this is Studio 12.
If you're looking for some ways to get your kids outdoors and off screens, there's a nonprofit called Generation Wild, and they've partnered with Colorado Parks and Wildlife to give you some easy, inexpensive ideas. So I took my own kids to go check it out.
I want to catch another dragonfly.
Generation Wild is a movement across the state of Colorado to get more kids and families outdoors. It was created by Great Outdoors Colorado, which is a foundation of the state that invests a portion of the lottery proceeds into outdoor recreation and conservation projects across the state. And then we also have our statewide communications social change campaign that is all about bringing easy tips for parents across the state of Colorado to get outdoors with their kids any time of year.
I think there's some over there.
Generation Wild's campaign is designed so the program works in schools, libraries, and state parks, like this one.
So I think what's really unique about Cherry Creek, we're in the heart of Aurora, so we're an urban park. So we often have to balance capacity and in protecting our natural resources.
And if you're a parent that wants to get your kids outside, but need help figuring out what to do with them, Generation Wild's 100 Things to Do Before You're 12 list gives you plenty of ideas. An easy guide you can do right outside your front door at a local city or state park.
Today, we've explored Cherry Creek State Park with some bird watching.
Wow, it looks so pretty. It looks like a nest.
We've created our own fossils. We've also looked at some of the different plants that are here and done some leaf rubbings. Visiting a state park is a great way to just go on an easy nature hike through the woods, to explore and listen to the bird calls and see what you can find.
So cool. I see it. Whoa.
You know, it's been a great partnership to be with GoCo and Generation Wild, just inspiring people to learn about the outdoors and knowing that you can do all these fun things and it doesn't cost any money. Digging a castle or rubbing leaves or, just having that partnership to engage people of all ages and all walks of life.
Whoa, look at these flowers. They're so pretty.
We're all so busy in our lives. Parents are busy with work and driving kids to and from activities before and after school, and kids' lives are busy. But it really only takes 5, 10, 20 minutes spending that time each day outside. We'll see benefits in kids with reduced stress. And the earlier we get them exposed to spending time in nature, it's been proven that they will become lifelong lovers of spending time outdoors and are more likely to spend that time for their own personal health.
I want to find a piece of bark too.
Some kids, families, they may not know where to go. They may not feel like they have the equipment. There are a lot of activities in Colorado where you feel like you have to have the best gear to be able to go do those, and that's just not the case.
And if getting the gear feels like a barrier to you, don't worry. Colorado Parks and Wildlife has stuff you can rent. You can also go to your local library and get a backpack of gear.
So we headed to our local library to check out the Generation Wild Adventure Backpack. It's free to any child, making outdoor access more affordable for families. It was easy to do and had all kinds of great things in it, like a state parks pass, nature guides, hiking poles, walkie-talkies, binoculars, and more.
If you want to go and learn about boating, we have life jackets and canoes and kayaks and paddleboards. If you want to do birding, we partner with the Bird Conservancy of the Rockies. They have binoculars and bird books. If you want to learn archery, we have our own archery trailer. So there shouldn't be a barrier to anybody.
And for those kids that, well, are still asking for a screen, Colorado State Parks and Wildlife has an app for that.
So we have an app called Agents of Discovery. You can download it for free, and on there it's kind of like Pokemon Go. So we make up missions, and in the missions are challenges, and you go and you walk a trail and it pops up on your phone. So you're using your phone for good. So you're learning about the park or learning about nature, and then at the end you can go to our visitor center in the campground and get a special prize.
You can start simple, like reading a book under a tree, using a fallen tree trunk as a balance beam, looking for insects, or
like maybe going ice skating or fishing. And then there's even Hike a 14er on there, which is a really Colorado activity to do. It might be a little bit of a stretch, so you can always start somewhere easy on the 100 things to do list.
Mom, did you see the giant white bird? It's really close up. It had pretty long legs and it's got a beautiful beak.
There have been studies on the brain that show that spending time outdoors, you have less rudimentation on those kind of negative thoughts. And it helps be kind of a place where there's less stress and you can come as a solace. And so even if you only get to spend 5-10 minutes outside walking through a park, that is something that will bring lots of benefits to your day.
So it's kind of over there.
Generation Wild is really investing and creating that next generation of kids who are going to care about the environment. They're going to be those champions for recycling, but also champions for our public lands.
so whether it's hunting for leaves or befriending a bug,
So cute. I don't know what I'm gonna
What is that?
Ladybug.
Generation Wild proves you don't need a fancy trip to have a wild time outdoors.
This is the coolest place ever.
For PBS 12, I'm Erica McClaugherty. For more information on Generation Wild and to download their free 100 Things to Do Before You Turn 12 list, you can go to generationwild.com. Welcome to the Sporty Pickle, where the game is fast, the food is hot, and the drinks are, well, pickled. It's a hot spot in Parker, Colorado, and it was time to go test it out.
I'm here at the Sporty Pickle in Centennial because apparently all the cool kids are playing pickleball, and I don't know how to play, but I hear it's like ping pong, a little bit of tennis, a lot of chaos. I'm good at all those things. And also to help me today, I have a pickle captain. But what exactly is a pickle captain?
I, as a pickleball captain, teach people Pickleball 101. So a lot of people come in, they don't even realize we have pickleball courts, and a lot of people don't know how to play, but they're also very intimidated. So we break it down and make it really easy for people to learn.
Getting warmed up, getting ready. Where do we start?
We start with the serve.
Okay, the serve.
It's underhand
500.
and it's below the waist. You could either drop it and hit it or hold it. It has to bounce once on each side. So serve, bounce, and then anything goes. Okay, so the kitchen. It's this area right here.
Okay.
It's also known as the non-volley zone. Kitchen
Nothing
line.
in the kitchen.
No.
Got it.
Unless it bounces first.
I don't even need you. Look at me.
So there are 3 numbers when you're scoring in pickleball. You should say them every single time you serve. So you're gonna say your score, the other team's score, and the position of the server.
042, coming at ya.
For owner Jarrett Gordon, the concept was born the old-fashioned way, over a friendly
Got it.
game of pickleball at his house.
Some buddies were over, there's about 20 of us drinking beer and playing pickleball, and it just kind of organically came about that there needed to be a much cooler place to play pickleball, because what was available was just parks and recs or warehouses converted to pickleball, which are all a little depressing. They smell like feet. They're just, you don't want to really hang out after you've played. And I've been in construction for a long time, so some of my buddies were in construction. I started running a quick budget. next thing you know, I pulled a permit and we started building. My personal views on pickleball are it should be kept to be fun and enjoyable. I think a lot of people take it maybe a little too seriously.
Yes! You only need 4 people, so I feel like it's very family oriented. You could learn it in 10 minutes and be playing in 10 minutes.
If you're just trying to get in and learn how to play, sometimes it's intimidating. So we try and create an environment where anybody can come and enjoy it, have fun. We do cosmic pickleball at night, which is kind of like cosmic bowling. The black lights come on, everything glows in the dark, and it's a little bit more, not quite so serious. So.
No! Yes!
It's more than just 3 indoor pickleball courts. Players can refuel in the 6,000 square foot bar and restaurant. We've got pickle poppers, full court nacho bites, pizza, pickles on sliders, and yes, of course, pickle-infused drinks.
So right now, I'm making the dirty pickle. It's just a pickle martini. But we can do vodka of choice too. This is what we use for our specialty. I'm also gonna throw a little bit of cucumber vodka in there. Just kind of cuts down how strong the drink is. And we're gonna add some pickle brine. That's what makes it the dirty pickle. Now we don't actually use any vermouth in this martini. We just top that. One of these cute little pickle stuffed olives. And that's the dirty pickle. All right, now I'm gonna be making our smoked old fashioned. So you can really use any whiskey. And then we're gonna be using 2 types of bitters. We have our normal Angostura bitters, and then we have orange bitters as well. Just gives it a nice little round flavor. And then we have a brown demerara syrup that we're using instead of a normal syrup. Kind of matches well with the apple wood that we're gonna be smoking it with. Get a little bit of ice in there and just chill it. We're gonna get our ice cube. Like I said, we're smoking this with applewood. Make sure you get all that smoke in there, and you want to let it sit for just a little bit. Don't be afraid of all the flying ash, it's fine. Now the trick, if you have a smoker at home, you don't want to pull this up because it's going to pull all the smoke out. You just slide it to the side and let all that smoke sit inside there. That's our smoked old fashioned.
You'll find non-alcoholic options too, including mocktails.
That's gonna be our NA pickleballer.
And NA beers on draft.
This is our 1-year anniversary, and I can tell you, we're up 40% in, than we were at this year last year. Just come word of mouth and people figuring out that, it's just a fun place to hang out, whether you like pickleball or not.
Now I know what reality stars feel like.
Whether you're here to get competitive, hang with the family, or you just came for the food, the Sporty Pickle really does serve up something for everyone. I'm Erica McClaherty with PBS 12, and consider me officially a pickleball believer.
Bring it! I'm gonna set you up.
For more information about the Sporty Pickle, you can go to their website at sportypickle.com.
On the eastern plains of Colorado, there's a place where wild carnivores roam free. We took our family to Keenesburg, Colorado to experience the Wild Animal Sanctuary and learn all about their educational mission.
The entire goal of the Wild Animal Sanctuary is to be the next best thing to the wild for the animals here. Since the wild was completely taken from them, it was never an option for them. So we're trying to basically restore what they've never had.
Oh, there's something walking over there. I can't tell what though.
So we specialize in rescuing, at this location, captive bred large carnivores. There are about 450 at this location in Keenesburg, Colorado. The other big thing is that we have no breeding. We don't want to add to the number of animals that cannot go back to the wild. So the sanctuary was founded by a gentleman named Pat Craig, who's still our executive director, 45 years later. He basically went to visit a zoo where a friend of his was working, and he saw all these animals kind of tucked back behind the scenes. This is where he learned of zoo surplus animals. It was a countrywide issue, zoos having more animals than they were able to take care of, really wanting to get a lot of babies out front, and then they have these adults kind of back behind the scenes. and the kind of ... that happened after that. They weren't really traded out front or anything, they just kind of stayed in the back. And again, this was over 45 years ago when we learned of this. I had a family farm in Boulder, Colorado of 20 acres, and he basically showed up at USDA, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, what's the option for carnivores? What's the plan for them when they need rescuing? And he was basically told, not unless he does it, is again paraphrasing what happened. So he got everything licensed, he got everything fixed up the way it was supposed to, got everything in proper working order, and rescued the first animal. It was a beautiful young jaguar named Freckles in 1980 when he was just 19 years old. So then we was in Boulder, Colorado, and then Lyons, Colorado, not just because the name was perfect, but then moved here to Keenesburg, Colorado in '94. Kind of like a big retirement home for all ages, if that makes sense. We're huge about talking about empathy here at the sanctuary. Secondary to rescuing the animals, our goal is education, really. So first and foremost, we're a home for them, but we also want to talk about why we have to do these rescues and their world and what it looked like. Animals are coming from apartments, garages, backyards, basements, horse trailers, gas stations, shopping malls, roadside zoos, the Tiger King saga, that whole thing. Imagine your bedroom right now, you're born in that room. You don't go anywhere. That's where you use the restroom, that's where you eat, that's where you sleep. That is your entire world. You don't imagine grandma's house, you don't imagine the library, you imagine that room and that's it. On one day, somebody opens that door. Now what do? Now you can go out there, now you can go down the hall, but it's gonna be scary, right? Your whole world was a box, it was this room. So that's what all of our animals are going through when they get here, so the door was open. So we just have to go gradually. Some animals take to a habitat immediately and it's a beautiful thing, we're so happy. Some animals, it takes a minute. It's just like people, we all kind of heal and go through things differently. Because of where our animals are coming from, I'd say the average size space was maybe a garage, give or take, but there's often concrete under their feet for the most part. Many of our animals have never really experienced grass before coming here, being under open sky. Some animals are meeting their own species for the first time. So it's like you walked in today and I'm the first human you met. It's what do? I have no sense of structure, I have no sense of society and how this is gonna work. So we have to go slow to big, if that makes sense. It's not too dissimilar from rescuing a dog or cat at home that's been through some trauma in their past life. So we usually start off small, more of an apartment-sized enclosure for them, and work their way out as they feel more comfortable, giving them the time and opportunity, never forcing anybody. But then eventually they graduate to a large acreage habitat. They can go from one end to the other. They can actually run for the first time in their life. They can get tired, they can pant, and they can also have enrichment with their own species for the first time in their life. Our animal care team, they're all amazing. My phrasing for them is champions of humanity because they're out there in the rain, sleet, or shine. Out here being Colorado, the wind is a big thing as well. The roads get muddy, they figure out a way to drive through them or go on foot or whatever they have to do. Very, very long days, and sometimes it's sun up till sundown.
Oh my goodness, look at them.
It's very hard sometimes having to, especially when they first get here, seeing everything that they've been through. It could be a little bit more difficult, but I always remind myself that we're here to take care of them. And even though it's hard, you still have to be here just to provide them the best life that you possibly can. Kind of helps keep you focused on the goal at hand, and it gives you some time to not think so much about where they came from and focus more on how to take care of them from this point. My job is to kind of assess their well-being, kind of see how they're doing on a day-to-day basis. We provide medications to the different animals, so if we notice that one might be a little sore, we can coordinate with the med staff to get them everything that they need.
So one of the most powerful rescue stories that really affected me personally was the story of Mary Jane. It was a tiger that was kept at a truck stop for many, many years. And unfortunately, the truck stop tiger concept was not isolated to just her. It did happen across the country, but she was living at the pump station and she was breathing in the fumes all day. She was also being bred to where her cubs were being sold to motorists even. So to picture that again in perspective, she's sitting in this truck stop, breathing the sin, the commotion, the sounds, and then watching her babies drive away. When she was rescued, she had this beautiful habitat further down, huge habitat, and lived with other tigers. For the first time in her life, got to just be with other tigers. And early on in my training, I did some animal care shifts and was helping with feeding her over the fence, and we were on the other side, and she came up right in between two tigers. And here I am thinking, this is the animal, I'm putting in my own thing. I would want to be in a hole, I would want to be in a corner, you'd want to be away from everything for the rest of your life. She could not have been more sweet and pumped to see them. She walked up and she nuzzled with them and went, oh, and it was a normal day for her. She was pumped to eat, she was pumped to be with those boys. These guys are resilient to a way we can't even articulate what they've been through, and the heartbreak they've been, the pain they've been through, and here she's just thriving.
One of my favorite animals here is a little jaguar named Arcus. He came to us a few years ago. He was actually rescued from a bar. Someone brought him into the bar and then authorities were called. Afterwards, he was brought to us at the Texas facility when we were estimating he was about 4 or 5 months old. So it was a whole new place. He was very adventurous for his young age and everything that's happened at that point. So he was very playful. He loved kind of seeing everybody. And since he was so young, I got to work really closely with him. And I've got to watch him grow over the years. So I've got to see him go from a very curious, at times very confident, kind of timid baby to a very confident, very interested in his surroundings at all times kind of jaguar. So he is my baby. He's the back of my phone, my screensaver. So I love getting to see where he started and where he's at now, and I'm loving that I'm going to get the opportunity to see him continue to grow while I'm here.
You know, so many of our rescues, in my mind, are confusing human want for animal need, if that makes sense. So they see the photo op thing, they see the hold the tiger cub or pet the thing, and it's not a conscious thought, but it's putting a human want ahead of it. And does the animal really need this? Well, it's fed well, but does it need that, or do we just want that? So I think that's a common misconception, is confusing, is what's best for the animals.
Are they gonna go again? Oh, one's hiding under the bridge. It's so cute.
We're ensuring that folks understand this is not in the entertainment industry. It's a home first, and we want people to come here to learn. We're open for education, and it can be incredibly a beautiful thing to see them living with the way they are, and that's kind of the thing, is we want to talk about it and hopefully work toward a world where sanctuaries don't have to exist, to where there's animals not in these places anymore. And I think the tide is turning very slowly. I think one of the biggest challenges the Wild Animals Sanctuary faces, and I think any kind of nonprofit, especially in the animal world, will probably face, is just ensuring we're meeting our annual budget. You know, we have a pretty high budget for operating 3 facilities. It's all donation-based. Land as well, as the world grows and changes, you know, things around us get closer and closer, so trying to make sure that the animal's way of life doesn't feel interrupted or impacted by neighboring construction or something like that. So make sure they feel the quiet and they can see the stars at night, and ambient light doesn't really change that. So those are probably the 2 big things.
Oh, look at the black bear, Dad. Dad, look at the black bear.
We're so blessed to have so many wonderful people that believe in this, that we're able to just keep saving animals. So the whole goal is that the animals just get to be a lion, get to be a bear, and they just get to enjoy the good stuff.
If you plan to visit the Wild Animals Sanctuary, keep in mind that the elevated walkway is a 3-mile round trip, so take your good walking shoes. Also, it is ADA accessible. For more information, visit wildanimalsanctuary.org.
We love taking our kids to the park. Okay, he may be 13, but I do have a unique place to tell you about, especially for older kids, is the Aurora Art Park in the Aurora Highlands. There's these beautiful art structures everywhere along these long paths, so you can get exercise, hang out, talk about the art. I love it. And we also got to talk to some of the artists that made the place come to life.
My artist name is Snyder. I am a mural artist from Berlin, Germany. And I'm out here to paint for the Aurora Highlands.
My name is Kendall Kipley. All of my work is based on glaciers, ice, snow, and like the movement of water. And that's the imagery that I use to source my designs, but I also think, like conceptually, think that the idea of water and change in environment and how water changes a landscape and shapes it is a mirror to our inner world. And so a lot of my work includes like poetic statements, like in the other one it says, "Don't let me go." And in the tunnel we're standing in, it reads, "Fühlst du mich?" which is, in German, "Can you feel me?" which is a phrase that is about the unmeasured energy that you feel when you experience an art installation or something that moves you.
The first time I got approached was actually by Carla, who is the curator of all this. and she bought a print of mine. A couple of years later, Olivia Steele reached out to me. She knows my work from Berlin because she also has a studio there. And we always wanted to collaborate on a project. When she came here to install her art, it was clear that we could do that collaboration here in one of those tunnels. So the story of this tunnel is that Olivia came up with a phrase which is a quote by Robert Frost, "The only way out is through." And this became the theme of our project, reminding us that perseverance is key when you go through the challenges of life. We decided to make the message even stronger by painting all of the tunnel so that it becomes more or less an immersive experience. I love painting outside because I get direct response from people passing by, whereas in the studio you're all by yourself alone for hours and hours, and painting outside is much more fun to me. So the phrase says, "The only way out is through," and the other day a man who lived here in this community passed by, a local, and said to me that whenever he does his work out here and he's running through the tunnel, this helps him keep going. So that's one of the things, one of the small interactions I like about this painting outside, that you really get to know what people think of your art.
It's the first time I've painted an enclosed outdoor tunnel space, so fighting the elements of wind and cold and heat, and then you're also in the public, so you have interruption, but that also is the best part of it because you get to see how the art is affecting people as you're installing it.
There were a lot of challenges doing this project. The weather, of course, it was very hot in between. I have to wear a full face mask all the time when painting. And the wind. The wind is probably the worst because it's channeled in the tunnel and you have much more wind in here, which is obviously bad for spraying.
This particular project is unique because I'm collaborating with another artist, Snyder, who lives in Berlin. So we didn't have a whole lot of time together in planning to prepare, but Carla saw that both of our styles really complemented each other and wanted the local presence of artists here in Denver and Aurora and the surrounding areas here in Colorado, but also international representation. And I think she really saw it as an opportunity to bring not only this community together, but different artists from around the world.
The cool thing about traveling and painting is, for me, actually meeting people, meeting new people. And we're like, the street art community is a community. I can go wherever I want in the world. I will always find people who are like-minded, and I'm always able to connect wherever I go through my art. I think what's special for my art is that I'm using this optical effect called chromatic aberration. That's where my colors come from. And then I have these fluid shapes, and I'm using these colors for everything I paint, whether it's abstract, like most of the parts in this tunnel, or animals or portraits. And that's some kind of my distinguishable style.
There's so many moments in life where you're sharing an experience with someone and you can just feel that they feel the same way. And it might be slightly different, but that's what makes us human and connects us. So this piece particularly is, especially being here in the Aurora Highlands, is about how do we feel about bringing this type of art park and this gallery, this international gallery, to a space that's accessible, public, and open daily to anyone who wants to visit. And instead of telling people how to feel, it's more like, what does this make you feel?
Also the fact that people get to see your art without having to buy a ticket for a museum or for a gallery. They just walk the street and suddenly they, boom, see something that they didn't expect. And that's the power of street art, I think. There are more and more mural artists out there, and public art is something that's being more and more valued, and that's something I really like about it. And people start to understand what it can do for a community, whereas before they just didn't know. Ich glaube, wenn man sowas machen will unbedingt, also als Mural Artist Vollzeit arbeiten, sollte man keine Angst davor haben, sondern einfach machen. Und vor allem seinem Herzen folgen. Man sollte immer das tun, was man wirklich liebt, weil so hat man immer genug Energie, um die ganzen Höhen und Tiefen durchzustehen. So the more street art, the more murals we have, the more life there is, I think, in cities. And that's even the case when it's just illegal graffiti. It shows there's some life going on there. So graffiti for me is the mother of it all. And if you look at this here, which is a curated art park, it has nothing to do with graffiti, but the good thing is you get to speak to broader audience of people when you do street art and murals as when you do graffiti, where it's just about your ego, basically.
The size of this park is impressive, and there's no other place that I know of, really anywhere, but especially in Colorado, that has such a diverse and unique amount and variant of different art pieces from all around the world, but also from local artists. And it's truly something to witness, like the larger than life sculptures, like the tucked away signage, and just from like small details to large installations, everything is really intentionally curated and thought through. And there's 20 that I know of and at least 30 more on the way.
And remember, it's free to explore, so bring a friend and take a walk through this one-of-a-kind art experience. To plan your visit or learn more about the artists involved, head to theaurorahighlands.com.
Our family loves Colorado road trips, and I may or may not have a fully color-coded itinerary, but I'm learning that sometimes the best places and the best memories you just stumble into.
You never know where the road can take you. We were driving on a family road trip through the San Luis Valley when
a very unexpected find on our trip. We stopped in Alamosa to find alligators?
what looks like a roadside curiosity in Alamosa turns out to be something much bigger.
I mean, lots of people are very surprised to find that there are alligators out here. Lots of people are very curious as to why there are alligators out here. And honestly, there's lots of people who think that it's some sort of joke.
It's definitely not a joke. It's a rescue.
Alligators were brought here to Colorado by the Young family. They were operating a tilapia farm in 1977. And they brought alligators here to eat the waste, right? They were cutting the meat off the fish, and that left the carcass of the fish. And so they brought alligators to dispose of that. You know, time went on, people realized, oh, you know, you have alligators here. That's really cool. They wanted to come see it. And then slowly from there, it turned into, you know, the police calling saying, well, we had to confiscate an alligator, or the zoo saying, hey, we've got alligators we can't handle anymore. Private owners saying, hey, I've got alligators that I don't want to handle anymore. They're too big, they're too mean, whatever the case might be.
Over time, unwanted and confiscated animals began showing up, transforming this place into a sanctuary for reptiles.
People tend to show up and get really excited to see the animals, especially having those hands-on educational moments where they can learn a little bit about these animals. Some of these animals are very mistaken, very misunderstood.
This is an American alligator right here. He's a year and a half old. You can pet him, you can touch him anywhere except for the face. This is one of the reasons people buy alligators. They are kind of cute when they're small. They're, 8 inches long, 1.5 ounces out of the eggs. They grow up to 8 or 10 feet long for a girl, 10 up to 15 feet for the boys. And so people get rid of them.
And that education is part of the mission. Changing how people see animals that are often feared. But it's not just alligators. There's a whole world of animals here.
This is a African species of snake, sub-Saharan Africa from Atlantic Ocean over to the Nile River, south is the Saharan Desert. They don't get very big, maybe 3 foot long for a boy, twice that size, up to 6 foot long for a girl.
Whoa!
And that's what they're normally found like in Africa, brown, black, and tan on them, good camouflage.
Can I get a snake?
Whatever.
No.
Yeah, very friendly, very fun.
And hands down, my favorites, these turtles. You can actually feed them. And let's just say, my kids were all in.
Look at him eat it. So cute. Can you pet them?
Look at you. You're hungry.
Favorite part of my job is actually the alligators themselves. I get in with these guys all the time. I do feedings with them. I work on training some of them, and honestly, I just get in there for fun and
You get inside with them.
yes, I do all the time.
All right.
Yeah,
And you've been bit before.
many times. You can see scarring right along there.
But it was worth
right across here. Absolutely worth
Okay.
it. No, I am not afraid of the alligators at all. The crocodiles I'm not afraid of. It is the caiman that terrify me.
Why the caiman?
So alligators are the most placid out of the three of them. They're very easy to predict as to what they're going to do next. I've been around them enough. I have enough experience with them that it's very easy for me to look at them and go, okay, I can kind of see what's going on. I can read that body language. And so it's a little bit easier to kind of predict, okay, I can see you're thinking about things. And there's a little bit more purpose in their movement. Where caiman, I find they just explode.
These animals were never meant to be pets.
Oh, it is potentially incredibly dangerous for these animals to be released back into the wild. They can't go anywhere else. So people showing up, people seeing the animals, people paying that admission price, that's what keeps them alive. That's what keeps them fed. That's what keeps the lights on here so that we can continue to operate as a rescue.
Every ticket, every visit, helps keep the rescue running. Because once these animals are domesticated,
Once they are pets, once they've been fed by people, they can't go back into the wild. They pose a very real threat to human lives at that point in time.
this is their home now. And now I'm wondering, who's the favorite?
Elvis is a particular favorite of mine. He's our biggest alligator, about 13 feet long, about 800 pounds. He actually made me a little famous my first year on the job. We had a little mishap when we were trying to feed him a turkey and I slipped and he was that close to taking my leg off. That video went viral. My overall favorite, unfortunately, did pass away earlier this year, or last year back in May.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just got really old and you know, life happens, passed away on us. That was a heartbreaking moment. Boris the alligator. But life goes on.
Because beyond the shock factor, beyond the roadside surprise, this is a place built on care. From an unexpected stop to a deeper understanding of rescue, responsibility, and respect for wildlife. This place in Alamosa proves there's always more to the story. For PBS 12, I'm Erica McClaugherty. You can find more information about visiting the sanctuary at coloradogators.com.
Playing a punch back.
My son and I love to go and get boba, but this time we decided to try one of those at-home kits. Now, I'm not a big fan. I feel like it was a lot of work. What do you think?
It's good, but it just doesn't compare to the real thing.
True, very true. Now, our favorite place to go is Teehee Boba in the Little Saigon district. And we got to know the owner, Kat, and her story. And wow, is it incredible. Check it out.
In a small tea shop
Anything else today?
tucked in to the Little Saigon district,
Okay, we'll have it right out for you.
there's something more than boba being served.
I'm here at Teehee where everything is handcrafted and a piece of art. But what makes this place really special is the story behind it.
For one single mom of three, this place is years in the making.
So we're in my little space called Teehee, little tea house.
She calls it her little space, but getting here took decades.
The year 2000, I started my own boba shop and wanted to introduce it to everyone in Denver. I think it didn't work just because it was too new of a concept, but I did feel, you know, like a little frustration, kind of like, why are we so behind on trends? Because boba back then had already been around for 20-something years. So after a couple of years, I decided to call it quits.
So she walked away, tried new careers, raised a family.
I pretty much did like different jobs, got married, had kids, and at that, you know, I'm still a full-time mom and doing everything, so I'm just not happy.
Then life changed.
My ex and I separated, I would say before COVID hit.
A single mom, 3 daughters, and a lot of uncertainty.
I always, in the back of my head, was like, I'm not happy, what would make me happy? And it always led back to the time that I had the shop. Okay, sorry. During COVID is kind of when Teehee started. Basically stuck in the house together. So I was like, okay, well, we need to do something like to get our minds off of everything. So we started an Etsy shop, we started a craft, and it was soap making.
So like the soap era was kind of, I feel like it was throughout the first kind of year or so of being just like with my mom only. So she was like a single mother for the first time. We were all in the house and she wanted to pick up a hobby. So we all started making soap together in our basement.
Then something unexpected.
All of a sudden I got like this big giant order for soap, personalized soap, and it was a very unusually large order. And so after everything was done, I was like, let me research this person, like who are they? I thought it was like maybe a teacher, and I found out it's like a Hollywood producer. I don't know if I can name him, I'll tell you. But it's John Landau. Yeah. So I tell that story a little because from that money, yeah, so I got the seed money.
Now with the seed money, a second chance at the dream she never let go. But it didn't happen overnight.
And then I moved to like a little horse trailer that I sell out of. I looked for like maybe almost 3 years, like I feel like I was looking at spaces and nothing felt right.
Until one day, the right place found her.
The space just felt right and like very nostalgic to me. So I was like, okay, I really like this feeling. It was hard because doing everything like alone, pretty much. And it's kind of like, I don't have anyone to like kind of lean on. Like, I didn't even tell my parents.
So mom picks up for me.
But she wasn't really alone. Her 3 daughters, her why.
I'm proud of my mom because she's hardworking and she loves me and my sisters and her family, and she just never gives up. She opened this shop all by herself.
Sometimes I'm like, wow, how can she even do that? Watching her be solo is a really good role model for all of us.
At the end of the day, loving yourself and giving yourself grace isn't just for you, it's for your kids. When they see their mom happy, they realize that they can do anything they want in life too.
I think it's very admirable what she did, like waiting to make sure we're all okay first before kind of starting her dream. We got this, like you can go do your thing, like just seeing her grow and the shop become everything she wanted it to be. It's just been very inspiring.
It's the Pandan coconut cream, and it's the most popular drink here.
So like whenever something happens or she's struggling, she always just finds a way to just push through it, like almost like a superhero. She's very passionate. She loves people.
Enjoy.
She's extremely hardworking. She's here every day. She's committed.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's an incredible story, and the drinks live up to it.
We call it the Tiger Salted Cloud, and it's more like a traditional boba tea. That's the lychee berry shortcake. Yeah, just being a full-time parent, you don't really have that much time for yourself. It's like that 5 minutes right there that you're just brewing, the act of just brewing the tea itself, like gave me my moment.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Running a business and raising kids all at once can be challenging.
I honestly don't know. I just had, like, this is what I have to do, pretty much, and then kind of just do it.
I think it's probably one of the most difficult things in the world to raise children well, especially alone. And she was able to do it with 3 girls, and we're all extremely close-knit.
This is a very personal thing. Like, I think when people come in, like, you can feel that it's a very family-centered business. Like, everything in here, every single drink, every single, I guess, choice in here was a very personal thing for my mom.
Then we kind of together came up with the name Teehee.
So Teehee is like something cute. Like, you know, when you're laughing. And I think for me, I love everything cute because it comforts me.
A place to share with your friends and laugh and with community. Just like a lighthearted, fun vibe. You can get boba and hang out and have a good time.
When we get really busy, like, I will get emotional as well. I'll step back there and yeah, it's just like seeing people in here and yeah, makes me happy.
To find out more about Teehee, you can go to teehee.co.
I would not live in this.
What if something small and a little wiggly could make a big difference? We're here with Denver Urban Gardens, learning how to make nutrient-rich compost that you could do right at home using worm bins. Yes, and we're learning not only how to make the worm bins, but also why worms
Are the superheroes
of nutrient-rich compost. Joining us today is Christy from Denver Urban Gardens to teach Charlie and her bestie Murray how to make their own worm bin. So we start with a 10-gallon tote. What do you see in this bin?
holes
Holes. Why do we have holes in the bin?
for like air to get in.
You got it, Charlie, for air. Our worms are living creatures, so we're gonna build them a really happy home so that they can turn our food scraps into compost. We've got some paper bags, I've got a cardboard drink tray, and then some compostable packaging that we can put in our worm bin. The other thing that we use for bedding is
Leaves.
leaves. When do leaves fall to the ground?
In fall.
In the fall, exactly. So these are all free materials that we can get from our very own home and use them for bedding. So let's start tearing some stuff up. You want to take a napkin, Charlie? You grab that one, Marie, and let's put it into this bin. All right, throw it in here. This will be our bucket. And we'll just make it into little pieces. Okay, what else can we put in there? Let's get some newspaper. Okay, so why don't we put some gloves on, because we're gonna crumble up these leaves. Let's put them in the bin here. Shake, shake, shake. Now get in there with your hands and crumple up those leaves. You guys ready to add some water?
Yeah.
Let's go outside.
Okay.
Making a going sound. Do you guys want to add your leaves into that bin? So rather than sending all this great organic material to the landfill, we're going to turn it into compost.
The worms will go in there.
They're going to go in there. But first, we're going to set up their home. This looks pretty wet, doesn't it? Can worms swim?
No.
No, you're right.
This looks like a good worm home.
What do you think, Murray?
Yeah. I would not live in this.
Why?
It's soggy and wet. I don't think Murray wants to live in newspaper. It might be cold.
Okay, so we're back inside. Are you guys ready to meet our office worm bin?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the lid that we have. Notice that it's not closed. Why do we think that might be?
So the worms can breathe more?
You're So smart. Yes, exactly, so the worms can breathe. So we always want to leave the lid a little bit open so that the worms have lots of airflow. Do you think worms can see? Do they have eyeballs? No, you're right. But they do detect light. So these are really special worms. These are composting worms. They're called red wigglers. And they live in the leaf litter. They're a decomposer. So that's why they work really well for home composting. So if we keep the lid ajar, they can see the light and then they know where their home is. Otherwise, if it was all completely dark, it would be lost. They would be so lost. They'd be so confused. So that's our lid. Okay. This is their air conditioning. So when we have a bin, we use the spray bottle to keep the paper nice and moist. And then that way, when it evaporates, it acts like a little cooling system so that our worms don't get too hot or too cold. So these worms are gonna live nice and happy, either indoors in our air conditioning, in our garages, maybe they could live in our basement. And then if we pull all of this bedding aside, where do you think we'll find the worms? The bottom? At the bottom, exactly. The worms like to live really close to where their food is. They also don't like the light. So if we were to pick some of these guys up and scoop them up, they're gonna try to hide from the light. Do you see all the little babies? Yeah. They're being so busy turning all of our kitchen scraps, everything that we're putting into the bin, into soil, into compost. Now, what do these worms eat? That is such a good question. Delicious. I want to eat this so bad. So we've got a banana peel. We've got some avocado shells. I've got half-eaten apple core, some mushy lettuce, and then lots and lots of tea. I drink a lot of tea. But if you drink coffee, you guys don't drink coffee, do you?
Coffee? I actually do have coffee.
The worms love coffee.
Do they eat like the coffee grounds?
They do eat the coffee grounds. So what do you think? These are really small worms. Do you think they're gonna be able to eat this big banana peel?
Should we peel it up into pieces?
Yes, but our worms are vegan, so they don't like to eat meat, fat, cheese, or dairy. They just like to eat vegetable scraps. But they can also eat paper products. So basically, if it comes from the earth, it can go back to the earth.
Oh, that's smart.
You guys are like a sous chef for the worms. So we're gonna give the worms a little bit of eggshells, but see how it's these big pieces here?
Yeah.
This is gonna be really hard for them to break down. So when we put eggshells in, we wanna grind them really fine. So you can use a mortar and pestle, or you can put them in your blender. Do you think that worms have teeth? No, they don't.
Do they just like swallow it whole?
So they have a really, really basic digestive system. So we give them these eggshells so that they have a little bit of grit that helps their gizzard move along their food. All right, so a worm's favorite food. It's avocado.
Yes, that's right.
So when we feed the worms, we want to put the food at the very, very bottom. So let's move all of this bedding out of the way. This is the gooey part. Yay, hungry, hungry worms. These worms are doing a great ecological service and they're turning that food into compost. So one day, this whole bin is gonna be just worm castings. Look at that. Fresh compost, ready to go into our soils so that we can grow some healthy food. It's good for our plants, it's good for our planet.
It's like we're recycling.
It is recycling. We are recycling organic material.
How do you know if your worms are happy?
Well, there's a couple ways to tell. First of all, if they're living in the bottom, then they're happy. If you come and you see your worms trying to crawl away, they're looking for a better place to live. Okay. Do we want to collect some worms from here?
Yes.
Let's do it. How do you think we get the worms out?
Do you just dig it and get them all out?
We can.
Or do you have like some sort of...
We've got a special tool. So this is a sifter, a soil sifter. And when I want to collect my worms, I'm going to keep all of this bedding and that'll just go into the old bed. We'll give them a new place to live. But say we wanted to harvest these guys. So we can put some of this stuff on here. And
just shake it up. See how all the castings are coming out the bottom? You're gonna keep doing that until all that's left in here is worms. But I think for today, we're just gonna go worm hunting.
So just dig in.
Let's dig in there and find them.
Got one. Oh yeah, this guy is Bob.
Bob the composting worm.
And this is Timothy. Timothy special. Oh, they're so cute. Look at them. DFS. What should this guy be named? Tony. Tony. Do you want some more worms, Murray? Sure. Oh, he's going so fast. Speedo. That's Speedo. Speedo Dorito.
Sanic.
Compost Club. Look how cute he is.
All right, so we got our finished worm bin.
I'll go into the bin.
And we're gonna put a brick or a block, something so that the bin is lifted up off of the ground. What would happen if we put it right flat on the ground?
Oh, the holes might not be able to lose too much water if there's too much water.
Exactly. Do you want to put your worms in their new home?
Can I grab them one at a time or just pour?
Just dump them in there.
Christy also said that this is perfect if you live in an apartment or you don't have a backyard. They even have a worm bin at their office, which is pretty cool. Anyway, thanks so much for learning today.
You're welcome.
And if you want to see more workshops with Doug, you just go to dug.org.
Which one's Bob again?
To find out more about Denver Urban Gardens and all their other family workshops coming up, you can head to dug.org.
Whether you adventure all across Colorado
or to your backyard,
you're going to want to make some time
in your never-ending to-do list
to make some memories. For this episode of The Family Beat and all other future episodes, you can head to PBS 12's
YouTube channel and social media.
I'm Erica McClaugherty, and from my family to yours, have a great night.
Avery! I said wait.